So I've been a full-time attorney since for the last 10 years, effectively. I am married now to my lovely wife,
Congratulations. That's
who's
beautiful.
also an attorney. I have a little 15-month-old daughter. It's beautiful. It's very nice to see them grow, and you literally have like a little mini me walking around. It's very cute. But so what I'm doing now is I have my own firm, the Law Office of Forrest R, which I had last time. It's just grown. I primarily do criminal law. So I do criminal law, personal injury, a little bit of civil stuff, a little bit of federal stuff, depending upon who it is and what the issues are. But my passion is criminal law. Most of my clients are actually motorcyclists. I'd say like 90% of them are motorcyclists, club affiliated. So I have a lot of pretextual stops happening where they're stopping motorcyclists because they either have tags on the back with rockers and whatnot. And they'll say like, oh, he didn't blink or he didn't use his blinker or speeding or whatever it might be. So those cases typically have, gun possession. It's mostly gun possession or felons in possession of firearms. And that's mostly what it is. I do a lot of assaults with a deadly weapon, GBI. I just had a murder trial or have a murder trial coming up that I think is going to settle to a gross vehicular manslaughter. That's out of Bakersfield.
Yeah. Bakersfield has a lot of murder.
It does have a lot of murder. This is about this kid who was going,
I'm not laughing at murder, it's just Bakersfield.
He was going over 100 miles an hour and in his brand new car and lost control and hit somebody. And murder is, you need malice in your heart or hate in your heart, and that wasn't the case at all. This kid was showing off to his friends. They were TikToking right before. They were like high-fiving, and then all of a sudden he was like, oh shit. So that's why it's not a murder case per se. But yeah, everything's going good. Criminal law is fun. I'm actually about to join the conflict panel to help out more people. I do a lot of pro bono stuff now too, because I have time and I'm not stressed and looking for work as much. Yeah. So I help. I'm helping some women who have like had DV issues and that kind of stuff, doing restraining orders for them and whatnot.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And why criminal law? What originally got you into that?
Well, I'm very good in the courtroom.
Yeah.
So criminal law is 90% in the courtroom. You are writing motions and whatnot, but it's a lot of being able to manage personalities. You have to, each courtroom itself has its own culture, and then you have a culture within the courthouse, right? So judges do things differently, DAs do things differently, and when you go to the next door, everything's different again, right? So you have to be able to get in there and really meet the personalities and be able to play chess with them without them really knowing. And I excel at that. I do well inside the courtroom. I'm not so much somebody that's writing civil complaints and whatnot. That's really not my shtick. I like to be out and about and meeting people and talking to people, and criminal law provides me that avenue. Plus, it's sexy. Criminal law is fun. Yeah. And you have a lot of weird stories. It's not the same mundane story. You have a lot of little nuance in the facts, and it's interesting to be able to deal with and help people.
Yeah, it's interesting because I do bring it up. I have a lot of experience with the law. A lot of experience. I've been arrested in 4 different countries.
Wow.
Yeah, Armenia, Cuba, Mexico, U.S. I've been arrested in the federal building. Like it's been an adventure.
I've only been arrested once, and
really?
That was down the street. I grew up out here.
No, but I have a lot of experience, and it's funny because I have people that approach me and they're like, hey dude, you're doing the single father thing, I got to go to family court. And I'm like, dude, like excuse me, I'm sorry, with all due respect, but it's almost useless to get an attorney in family court because it always flips. The judge comes to a decision, 30 days later, the mom says something else new, it's a new court case, and it just always changes.
I will say though, I've done family law cases and I do not like to do them because of the emotional issues that are just inherently intertwined in them.
But there's no conclusion, is my point.
No, they keep going.
Yeah. You can reset it and rewind.
You can. But if you have an attorney versus somebody who doesn't have an attorney, the judge goes, okay, counsel, what's going on? And I have the first word, and I have the last word, and I have all the words in between. And she can say whatever she wants to say, or he can say whatever he wants to say. But all I have to do is say a little legalese, and that's either thrown out or debunked or thought less of. So I think that the family law attorney, it is a racket. They do charge a lot of money, and I mean, it's good money.
Right,
But
and I'm not saying that it's worth it or not worth it. What I'm saying is, and I want to be careful with my words. You're right. It's tricky because there's no end. Like criminal like criminal defense is. The end solution is take a deal or guilty or not guilty.
Or go to trial, yeah.
And that's kind of the overall point. Of course, there's things that fluctuate.
Family laws until
Family law
the
is
kid's
like
18 years old.
unlimited. Like, look, this guy, fucking wears white T-shirts all the time, and I can't stand the white T-shirts. And now next month, you're like, Your Honor, look, I wear black T-shirts now. Oh, let's open the case up. So now it's never ending. And
it is.
And those attorneys then like, oh, well, we got to go again, and we got to go again.
That's why it's money for them.
I was going to court, the first round around this, like 15 years ago, dude. Almost every other month for years.
Jeez.
For years.
I mean, if you can handle it and you can write and be succinct and I mean, it's just an RFO. It's just a form. Right? You just have to be able to read the form and fill it out.
Fill it out properly.
If you could do that, then you don't need an attorney.
Right.
Right. But for the people that are just like, oh, I don't know, right? They need guidance and help.
Right, and it's time versus money and business versus what. The court has a lot of resources, which is also pretty cool too.
Right, because it's such a inundated system. Like 1 in 5 marriages are successful at this point, right? I think that's the stat that they just came out with, which is insane. That means 4 couples are in the fucking courthouse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's wild.
Yeah.
But no, interesting. So what's the most kind of cases you're dealing with? DUI or?
So I deal with DUI stuff. Those are a little bit.
I feel like those are just money makers for the court system.
I mean, they are. It's very hard to get out of a DUI if there's a righteous reason for them to stop you and you blew over .08. Yeah. Right. So if they stopped you because you were speeding or you didn't blink or whatever the bullshit stop is that they do for you, if they smell it on you. It's easy for them just to be like.
But what if there wasn't no stop? What if they didn't absorb anything? If they
didn't absorb anything, that's critical, right?
They weren't at the scene.
They kind of have to.
Nobody
observe
called
stuff.
them in.
But if they're observing you after the fact and they can smell it, or
But there's no proof of behind the wheel. There's no proof of who was driving.
If you admit to it to them,
it was an accident after shock. It was an accident
I was driving. My friend fell off the bike.
Guess what? Somebody stopped by and brought me a bottle of fucking tequila and said, "Hey, dude, you're crazy." Or
that's the argument.
I had an empty flask. Nobody didn't ask me about my flask.
I have a case where a woman hit a car and she ran into her house and then claims that she was just pounding alcohol, but she was at .2 something, and the cops came within like 30 minutes, and your body literally cannot get to .2 something in 30 minutes if you down this bottle right now, your body has to digest it and process it for it to get into your blood. So there are ways to argue about that, and it's very fact specific. But in the general scheme of things, especially if you're in an accident and the cops do come, be ready for a breathalyzer test. And if you don't, at this point, given how many I've done, I wouldn't refuse breathalyzers because, one, it'll give you an automatic 1-year suspension on your license, and there's no way to get a restricted license with that. And if you do drive or you have to pick up your kid or whatever it may be, you want that restricted license.
Yeah.
The other thing is that they can retro extrapolate what your BAC was at the time of the accident. So if you do go to the hospital and say you're 2 hours, right, they can determine if you're at, say .08 at the time that they take your blood 2 hours after. There's a formula that they have where they can figure out how drunk you were at the time of the accident, and they use that in trial.
Right.
So to get back to it, I don't do a whole lot of DUIs anymore. I do DUIs. They are like, definitely you can make your practice out of DUIs and just...
Yeah, live off that.
But that's not, I aspire to just do more better law practice. So a majority of my stuff are mid to higher end felonies, excluding like super violent crimes. If you walk into the bar and you're, say you walk out and you're going to fight somebody. Right. And you walk out and you see 3 dudes standing next to a car looking at you, waiting for you, and lying in wait. Right. Are you going to wait to get to those three dudes before you engage in self-defense, or are you going to swing on the dude that's leading you to your downfall and run away? At what point do you have fear, right? And that's really where the legal argument is. At what point does that self-defense privilege kick in? What amount of fear do you need to have in order for that to happen? You know, if I walk another 20 feet, I'm gonna get my ass beat. I mean, what do I do? Do I punch this guy in the back right now and take off, or do I walk up the 20 feet and?
Right. Self-defense is when you're in fear of your life, so it has to be a situation.
Fear of injury, right?
Right.
Fear of damage. Doesn't really have to be in fear of your life, but like, you know, at what point? So that's the legal argument that is where like the hole is right there.
So how does somebody? I'm being attacked. I want to defend myself. Like at that moment, I have to defend myself. But like,
Right.
what do I look for? Where I'm like, I need to make sure this is self-defense. You know,
Well,
and some of the issues that I run into is I've had issues where it's like, you know, something happens and then I'm like, dude, like the guy came after me in fucking self-defense and I had to kick his ass, and the cops look at me like, really, you were scared for your life? You were scared for your life? Like, what? I can't be scared for my life or something? Like, yeah, I'm fucking terrified. Yeah,
because I'm built, bro.
yeah, it doesn't mean like fuck, like
No, I know, and that
you don't know what color my thongs are. Like, come on, bro. Like,
and you know that is a subjective thing too. Like, it's not an objective standard, what you just said, right? It's a subjective standard. So if I'm 6'8" and some 5'2" girl comes at me
Right.
and starts swinging at me, I'm not gonna, you know, Spartan kick her through the door, right? And that's what it is, right? It's using the force that you think is appropriate. All you got to do is hold her hands back, and she ain't gonna do anything, right? You know, it's difficult. Rule of thumb is don't swing first. Although
right, in the law, but in the ghetto where we grew up, whatever the case is, first one that swings wins. You know?
You're right, and you've been in fights. I've been in fights, and you can tell when their face just changed. Something's gonna happen. They've made the decision to swing on you. I'm not gonna wait for that, right? And I typically don't. I haven't been in a fight for a long time, and I don't aim to get into them anymore. I'm too old for that stuff. But
yeah, the recovery's ridiculous.
I know, dude. Have you ever gotten your jaw hit, dude? It's like, oh my god, you can't chew for a couple days.
Yeah.
I got into a fight in New Orleans. That was not. I mean, it hurt. It hurt pretty bad.
No, not believing.
Yeah.
I fucking just twisted my forearm somewhere, just here. And dude, it's been like 2 weeks, and I can't pick up anything. This is
You're an old man, dude.
I've never had this.
You're an old man.
I know, I'm not, man.
Gee.
22 and 22.
Yeah. I wish. Yeah, how much would you pay to go back to being 22 years old? I think 25. 25 would be a great.
Yeah, 25, 27 would be insane.
Yeah. That's prime time.
Yeah.
That's prime.
If you could go back to 22, 25-year-old, what would you tell yourself?
Say yes to everything. Just experience everything. Go out on the limb and do everything you possibly can, because life passes you by. And youth is wasted on the young. We have a lot of people just sitting around playing video games and whatnot, and sitting on their asses, and get in a van and go on a road trip while you can. If you don't have responsibility, or you have a wife, a house, a kid, 3 toys.
Travel.
Yeah, travel. Granted, I love my toys, but shit's expensive, and I gotta go work for it every day.
Yeah.
So that's what I would suggest for sure. Being 25. Looking back, it's like I did do a lot though. Like, backpack to Europe for 3 months. Like I traveled up and down the state. Like, did a lot of camping, a lot of shooting, that kind of stuff. Riding dirt bikes. It's fun times.
Yeah, it's interesting. People will save up money to buy an iPhone, but won't travel anywhere.
Yeah, I traveling is huge. Like, to be able just to experience different cultures and understand that there is a different way of living, and not that might be the better way of living, but just to be able to reflect on okay, cool, like this is why I like America, or this is what needs to change in America, or I wish that this was the policies of our government versus what's currently the policies, kind of thing, right? And it just gives you a little bit of insight into humanity.
Ideally, what would be your most favorite case to take? Because you deal with murder and mystery and fucking like what would be what's your dream case? Career case.
Dream cases. I think I mean if I was gonna make like a career case, I think a high profile case where the cops really fucked up left and right because then there's work to be done. And those are my favorite cases when when the cops really fuck up and you're like, aha, like, and then you just tear them up, right? And then the judges just look at them like, what the fuck did you guys do? Those are the fun cases. The case I always I get cases and I feel for the clients. The clients obviously made mistakes. I don't have a lot of career criminals that are constantly doing things. I have people that make mistakes or that have gotten in trouble before, made another stupid mistake, but aren't like out there to go to hell kind of thing, right? And you really want to do work for them. But sometimes, for example, in DUIs, if they pull you over for a righteous reason and you're drunk, there's not a whole lot that I can do for you. I can definitely make it easier. I can explain everything. I can go to court for you. I can maybe get you less punishment, but you're still going to have that DUI on your record.
Right.
So I had a case where this guy was a black man was crossing a jaywalking on a side street in a black neighborhood, and they chased his ass down. And sure, the guy was slanging. He had a couple rocks in his pocket. But there was no other reason for them to approach him other than the fact that he was out. It was 11 o'clock. He was black and he was jaywalking on, like, say, the street out here, right? Got that shit dismissed. I got the cop in trouble because the cop made a pretextual stop. It was a racially driven stop. And all that crack just disappeared. It's great.
That's insane. I know a guy. He used to be a buddy of mine, but whatever. Times changed. He was selling. I believe he was selling coke. He was selling coke, but he was starting off. So he was like a little here, a little that. Then he had like this guy in West Hollywood, and the guy's like, hey, can you do like this much? I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. So he did like 4 or 5 transactions with him. Then he said, Halloween's coming up. We want to make a big, purchase a bigger order, right?
Fucking cop.
And I'm telling you exactly how it is. I was going to ask what happened. So supposedly, he's coming down and he's got a little a coffee fucking pot, not pot, like coffee can, coffee can, and he had it closed up in there, and then he goes down La Cienega, makes a right on Santa Monica Boulevard, I guess, and burp, they pull him over, and he's like, what the fuck? Like, I haven't even done anything.
Yeah.
And they start like, hey, you get off the car, this, that, do you have any weapons, this, that. He's like, wait, why am I being pulled over? They're like, oh, because your license is suspended. He goes, how would you guys even know that? Because the car was registered in his mom's name. It wasn't even registered in his name. Anyways, they got more suspicious. Long story short, they just go directly and start searching the car and find the can, so obviously.
Yeah.
And I think I never really followed up what happened, but I believe a year went by, and I guess there wasn't enough, or it was his first charge or something like that. They kind of like let it go. They saw that he was just like a knucklehead or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
But my question is, break that down.
So what happens is they're really trying to find big dogs in the chain, right? There's a supply chain. And I've had a case where this guy got stopped with like $1 million worth of coke, and they wanted him. The sheriffs wanted him to basically roll over, and I did not do that. If you're gonna roll over, you find another attorney. Don't play that game. And I advised him like, no, you don't do that, and we're gonna tell them to eat shit, and they're gonna fuck off. And that's what happened. I met them at a Starbucks. Effectively, I had the cops come to a Starbucks to meet my guy, and I told them, you guys fucked up. You let him out that night without any charges. That's suspicious. Like everybody in that supply chain knows that he got picked up for $1 million, or with $1 million worth of stuff, right? And that product just doesn't go away. So you let him out. People are suspicious. He's fearful now, and you guys fucked up, and we're not going to help you. and
Incriminate him, yeah.
yeah, like you're gonna like make my guy roll over and then endanger him because you guys don't know how to handle and it was three just big fucking white boys, like just big dudes that looked like they were all like the defensive ends back in their day. They looked like a bunch of knuckleheads, you know. They had their stashes with their like their badge hanging all cool with their Ray-Bans on and their hats, and like they thought they were the shit.
Right.
And it's been 5 years now since that case. And he hasn't gotten hit up yet. And that's probably what happened. You know, they probably talked to him and they were like, well, who can you give us? Who can you give us? And he's like, I don't know.
Who started, man?
Yeah, I don't know anybody. I chip mine off with somebody else's brick and, you know, that's it. You know, it's not like it's my brick or like I know where the bricks come from.
Yeah.
That's probably what happened. And if it is his first time and the amount, like if
But he was set up by a cop, definitely, right?
oh, he was absolutely that's the MO. You buy some bags from them, you know, 3 or 4 bags, and then you're like, hey, can I get it out? You know, it's like
Easter's coming.
That's where you change your number, you block the number, you change your phone, you stop, you don't talk to that person again. Somebody that regularly gets like a bag from you and all of a sudden they want a fucking ounce or something like that or something bigger.
I have a
score against, you know, like no.
I have a case that I just heard of 2 days ago. And a friend of mine, I kind of shouldn't be talking about it, but it's like, I don't know the people. I don't give a fuck.
As long as you don't say any identifying
yeah.
information.
No, I don't, but I promise it, but sort of, you know, I don't. But it's such a crazy case, you know. The guy was doing, I think they're booking him on wire fraud, where they were conning. They had call centers, and they were calling people and doing, and they convinced people or something to wire them in. And they did this, and I think they have like fucking 66 victims, and you know, blah blah blah. And this guy's been on the he's been living his life up. I think he went to like Qatar or Dubai. That's whatever. You know, or Mexico. I don't know.
They'll get you in Mexico. They just got that.
They got him in Europe.
Europe.
Him and the wife. They got him in Europe.
Yeah,
they're living in other places. You know, and he's arrested right now. He's arrested. And now it's like that whole thing's like going down. I'm like, dude, I remember hearing about this guy a year ago. Like, oh, this guy's so cool.
It's probably a good time to get arrested in Europe when the U.S. is trying to extradite you because relations with Europe aren't that great right now. So
that's kind of what I was going to ask too, because that was one of the questions: is how is there a chance they won't? Like it was filed. I mean, it was filed in somewhere in Texas. Yeah. You know, through a federal judge, and you know they have all these federal people. Everybody signed off on it. Interpol's involved, so obviously, so I'm like, dude, you're getting extradited.
He's gonna get extradited, but
100%.
but I mean, that was a little knock on our current situation. I mean, if you were going to get caught up, the best time to get caught up, I think, would be when the world is hating us.
Right.
But there obviously are extradition agreements, especially with allies like Europe. What country did you think you got it? Like Italy or
France?
Well, France for I don't know.
Yeah.
See, what's his name? Macaroni? No.
Yeah. Macaroni. No, ravioli.
Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah, they're gonna send him over. I mean,
yeah, it's either gonna get delayed or not delayed.
Yeah, and if they don't,
it's not gonna. Yeah.
If they don't, then that's great. Good job. But I would just expect the worst.
Well, if you get, this is my thought. If a federal judge in Texas signed on it and puts this notice out, and they catch you in fucking France, like you're gonna get extradited. Like that's pretty big, dude.
Yeah, that's
like
how
did they even know there? You know, like that's so crazy.
That's some Hague shit. That's if Interpol's involved, it's the international police. You know, like they're done.
Yeah.
Especially if and it's weird how much more they will. If that guy just murdered somebody, he would probably never have been found.
Right.
But because he's stealing people's money.
In the banks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I think that's the big kicker. They have a lot of victims. Yeah.
Yeah, when you have and
Are people protected in Dubai?
I don't know. I don't know anything really about Dubai. I think that you could definitely.
UAE to be exact.
if the issues happen in America, you could definitely sue, prosecute, all that stuff in America. I don't know that Dubai or the UAE has any extradition stuff with or agreements with America, but you could definitely seek justice in America, even if the person is in Dubai. You just have to make sure that they're served, and there's other ways for service. You can publish service, like service by publication, effectively. And there's lots of people that get sued and then they'll run away to like France or something. But I've actually had a case where this guy took this woman's money. She was actually in Studio City, and just defrauded.
That's weird.
Yeah, just defrauded her. Like, felt very sad for this, mature woman who had, basically given this man her life's work. He was just taking. He ran away to France. I fucking found him, served him. We won. We got a judgment on that, and we won.
Right.
And he was in France.
Hot topic right now. Minneapolis, all the frauds and activities, the daycares, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now LA, they're going after.
They're going after blue states. There's 2.1 million illegal immigrants in Texas. There is 1.3 illegal immigrants, 1.3 million illegal immigrants in Florida. There's 130,000 in Minnesota. Tell me why they're in Minnesota.
The snow?
Yeah, right. They want to make snowmen, like, what? Because the Somalians are out there eating cats and dogs, or was that Michigan? I'm not sure.
Yeah, that was Illinois.
It's clear, and the dude just had the FBI raid the Georgia election office and took all their voter rolls and their voter boxes. Like, it's very clear what this dude is doing. He's attacking blue states. I think it's hilarious that Dr. Oz, who's barely a doctor, is coming out like pointing at Armenian businesses saying these are fraudulent.
You mean the Turkish guy?
Yeah, the Turkish man.
The Turkish man went after the Armenians?
Who's talking trash about Armenians and Russians right now.
Yeah, it's funny.
Right down the street, right on Van Nuys.
Yeah, and he's like, oh yeah, you can tell this is like a Russian Armenian. I was like, dude, it says Lavash. It's the bakery.
I know. What can he smell?
It's a bakery. What's wrong with the bakery? It says Tigran's Lavash Bakery.
Yeah.
What's up, Tico?
And for the people that are just like blinded to it and just don't see what's happening, I mean, sure, there are.
But how did those people look? We're targets, right? We live in the blue state. They're targeting blue states. We're blue states. They're targeting blue cities. We're blue cities. How do you prep for it? What are you? What if you're one of these?
So I mean,
what if you own that bakery and they're coming after you at a bakery?
I mean, it's scary. What can you do? You just have to be on your guard. You have to play everything close to the vest. You have to be aware of your surroundings. You get into the. There's a lot of little movements or at least networking organizations that will you can keep abreast as to who's who and what and where are things happening. I live in East LA area, and yesterday I got a bunch of alerts from networks that I'm in that ICE was in, La Migra was in Sereno, and you just got to be prepared. I don't know what to tell you. I'll tell you this. This is exactly why we have 2A. I have my guns locked and loaded. And if anybody comes knocking up on my door, they're going to be promptly escorted off my property. This is scary. And the fact that, that nurse that got literally executed, like, if you watch the videos, they had removed the gun from him before they shot, right? So like they removed the gun and they shot him 10 times. They could have given him aid. They're supposed to, as a law enforcement agency, any law or any police officer understands that when you shoot somebody, what's the first thing you hear? I need an ambulance. I need medical attention. And you see them going over to help and stabilize the person. They flipped him over 1, 2, 3, 4, counting their bullet holes like he was a fucking deer. That's disgusting. And it was an open carry state. He had a valid CCW. So, going back to the CCW thing, you'd rather have 12 people than 6 people carrying you. In Trump's America, he doesn't give a shit. You have him coming out and saying, well, he shouldn't have had a gun. He shouldn't have had a gun. He's a domestic terrorist because he had a gun. No, brother, this is America. Everybody has 2 guns. What the fuck are you talking about? So it's enraging, and it's very sad to see people just being like, well, he should have followed the law. Like, well, why weren't you wearing a mask then when masks were mandated by Trump? Because COVID came out during Trump, like 2020. Trump was president. That's when we got the vaccines. That's when the vaccine was mandated. That's when the masks were mandated. He took the vaccine. Like, he's not an anti-vaxxer. He takes all the vaccines. We just need to wake up and understand and get back to America. What America is, the Constitution.
What was it? And believe it or not, I didn't jump into it at all. I heard about it. I saw different videos. A guy that got shot in Minneapolis that was carrying a gun. I saw a few videos of what escalated, but I really didn't jump into it. What was the reason or supposed reason why? What was he doing there, and what was the reason why they shot him finally? So how did they know if he had a gun, if it was CCW or not CCW?
I'll tell you. So they were standing on the side of the road. They were blowing their whistles. That's what they do when ICE is around. They blow whistles. The guy was filming. An ICE agent walked up to a woman and pushed the woman down. This VA nurse pushed the ICE agent.
The guy that got shot.
The guy that got shot.
VA nurse. Okay.
The VA
he
nurse.
was a veteran, to top it off.
Yes.
Okay.
He pushed the ICE agent. The ICE agent sprayed him with
Pepper spray.
But it looked like out of a bear pepper spray. Like, it was a huge can, right? Sprayed him. He goes down. Then all of a sudden he gets swarmed. His back is like this. Like, he is pushed down. He has his gun in his waistband. You hear somebody say, gun, gun, gun. An officer in a gray uniform or a gray jacket pulls the gun. You see him run away, and then you hear pop, 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 pop. That's it. He never swung. Sure, he pushed somebody. He was defending a woman who got pushed to the ground by some bully ICE agent. Never once did he brandish his gun. It was in his, and you're allowed to open carry. He had it in his waistband. It wasn't like it was tucked in anywhere. It was open for people to see.
Again, I promise you, I did not see any of it. I hear the pictures. Was he wrestling with them, or were they wrestling? Was he wrestling with them? Were they wrestling with him? Were they in any engagement? They saw the gun?
No, they absolutely tried to wrestle him down. I don't know if when you start getting pressed by 6 dudes, there's not a whole lot you could do. Right? He is down. He looks like his knees are folded. He's basically like on his knees pushed down. Right? They're holding him down. They remove. He's held down. They remove the gun from here.
So now the gun's gone.
The gun's gone.
It's removed.
And they shot him in the back. His wounds are in the back.
That's fucking great.
Like, it's nuts.
That's fucking insane.
And I know you have cops and stuff like that that watch, and they'll tell you with Renee Good.
Those cops are cool.
With Renee Good, cops don't shoot at cars, like, unless you're barreling down at the cop doing, the lady was. Did you see Renee Good thing?
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, like the guy said that he had internal bleeding. The ICE agent.
I have mixed feelings, but that sounds like bullshit. That's
like literally.
If he said that,
it literally came out that he had internal bleeding.
Yeah, because I did see the breakdown a little bit more on that, where first of all, like, she's in the middle of the fucking road sideways. That's like it's not really not good. And this is back to the mental. I'm not saying she is, but this is back to
but you don't shoot somebody in the face and then
100%.
And then when you do shoot them in the face, you fucking try to help them. Like you're under 8. He walks away saying fucking bitch.
That statement for me is a little difficult, because I have seen too many videos of fucking cops shoot. Like even if the cop had the right to shoot, I have seen them shoot, kill, and still handcuff the fucking guy. And I'm like, dude, that's so fucked up. That's inhumane.
Yeah.
That's this, that's that. That person's dead. And if you look at the history, of course, we're not talking about all cops. There's some amazing cops and there's shitty cops. That's everything. There's more amazing cops than shitty cops. Let's get that clear. But when you see, I've seen those videos where you're just like, dude, the person's dead. What are they doing? Why are they handcuffing? Why are they dragging them? Why are they pushing them? Why are they doing that?
That's obviously adrenaline and heat of the moment and stuff like that. But, you know, those cops are also cops that have been on the beat for a while, potentially, right? And these ICE agents are literally getting 47 days in homage to Donald Trump being the 47th president. Like, you know what's funny? You know, who you don't see anymore? The Proud Boys. Where are the Proud Boys at? Where have they gone? They're the white supremacist group led by the Latino. I forgot his name. It's very Latino. I think he might be Cuban. He's out of Miami.
Cuban Republicans?
Yeah.
What, man? What the hell? Oh, bro, you got your mind.
He's been confirmed to be an ICE agent. They literally, I guarantee you.
No, who's the Pride Boys? I want to hear. Let's
look it up. Look up the leader of the Proud Boys.
All right, we're doing a podcast right now. We're talking about the Pride Boys. Who are the Pride Boys?
Proud Boys. Proud, like I'm proud.
Proud Boys. We're talking Pride Boys. Yeah, hi.
They're cool too.
The Proud Boys. They're from Miami?
No, they're from all over, but I think, who's the leader?
Who's the leader? What are they about? I guess they were super active before, and now they're not as active. What can you tell us?
So, the Proud Boys are a far-right group that started in 2016. They were founded by Gavin McInnes. Originally, they presented themselves as a kind of Western chauvinist group that claimed to reject political correctness. Over time, though, they became notorious for street fights and were involved in some high-profile events, including the January 6th Capitol riot. Because of that, they're considered an extremist group by many. In recent years, leadership shifted after McInnes left, and Enrique Tarrio became a prominent leader. Tarrio's been sentenced for his role in January 6th. Lately, the group's influence has waned, but they're still out there, just more fragmented.
So, Enrique is in ICE. He's been confirmed to be a member of ICE.
Right.
And they haven't really had any sort of political... Thank you. They really haven't had any political... Like, they're normally anti-protesters, right? Or alternative protesters, right? So if No King's Day happens, right, for a protest, protesters go out there, Proud Boys comes out to meet them to protest their protest.
Right.
That has not happened since Trump has been in office, right?
Is that good or bad?
Well, I think that they're elsewhere. I think that they are in ICE and in Border Patrol and being utilized to commit these atrocities against not only immigrants but citizens, because both of these people in Minnesota were citizens. And I'm it's tragic that somebody has to die in order to basically stoke outrage. That guy Greg Bolivio, who was basically the commander in chief of ICE, has now been sent back to his job in El Centro because they've realized what's happening. Or they don't really care. They understand that they're losing now officially. That's why they went and raided the Georgia electoral office, because why would you need the voter boxes when you won? Like, what's the issue? You won the last election, so what are you doing? They're trying to they're going to lose these midterms unless something happens, and they're trying to create that something with what they're doing.
Question. Do we have an immigration problem? Do you, in your opinion...
Absolutely.
Do we have an immigration problem?
Absolutely.
What do you like and what don't you like of the current situation?
So absolutely we have an immigration problem, and it stems from us being a country of immigrants, right? We have a statute of liberty for a reason. Give me your poor, give me your weary, right? That was gifted to us for taking immigrants, right? This isn't, a Catholic country, it's not a Christian country, it's not a Muslim country, it's not a Jewish country. This is a melting pot of America, right? Now, with that being said, there are too many people coming in here that are undocumented. That the issue is that the path to citizenship is convoluted beyond belief. As an attorney who took immigration classes in law school, it's complicated, very complicated. And as somebody who knows the language and speaks the language and can navigate systems, right? What do you think of a Latino person, or not even Latino, a Somalian, or even a white South African person who doesn't understand legalese? How are they going to navigate this system? It's hard. Just make it easier for them, and make it easier for us. If they can get in, let them in. If they can't get in, kick them out. Right? Don't make it a big deal. Don't make them take 10 years to get it done. The difference. So you have a bunch of claims. Oh, Obama deported 12.1 million people. Great, and he was protested against for those things, right? I think somebody else, like Clinton, also deported a ton of people. Like,
Right.
This is the argument from the right to the left. Like, your people deported a bunch of people now. We're deporting people now. What's the argument? The argument's about how it's being done, right? You're driving around in army trucks. I literally saw an army truck go through my neighborhood, like down on Hamburg Road. They're instilling fear. When I put on KFWB, or sorry, KNX, used to be KFWB, KNX 97.1, and I hear Christy Nome on a commercial saying, get out of here, we'll pay you a stipend. I'm like, what the fuck is that? You go to an airport, you see this fucking lady's face on the thing. What is that? You have them going to elementary schools, detaining 5-year-old kids, and what's going on here? Like it's just beyond belief. And it's based on
They did that. They went to elementary schools.
it was the other. First off, they've been going to elementary schools for a long time, but last week they just took a 5-year-old out of school in LA, and then they brought the kid to the house, and they're basically using the kid as bait for the people to open the door. Right? Hey, come get your mijo, right? And then they turn around and say, oh, the parents didn't want the kid was abandoned. No. Come on.
Dude, that's insane.
Like, imagine your baby getting taken from school, and are you kidding me? Man. A 5-year-old doesn't know anything. Like, why?
Second Amendment.
Exactly. That's it. Exactly. And it's so funny. All these don't tread on me people now are like, oh, well, he just should have complied. Like, no. I'm so glad the NRA actually said something, because they were silent for a couple.
What did they say? Like, dude, I've been in the dark.
The NRA literally came out and said we want a full investigation into what happened. They're obviously trying to save face because of the nature of it. The guy, it's an open carry state. The guy had a valid CCW. Like, he wasn't brandishing it. Like, it was obviously a massive fuck up by ICE. And for the NRA to not say anything about somebody exercising their 2A when they've spent countless millions and millions and millions of dollars to get guns to not be reformed, or just gun acts to be, because we have all these mass shootings with kids and whatnot, right? There's this push to reform gun laws, and they're pushing on the opposite side. And it's been a cornerstone of the GOP's arguments for the last 20 years. Gun rights, gun rights, gun rights. And now that somebody who actually had and was utilizing his gun rights gets shot, murdered, executed on the street, everybody's like, he should have just complied. The fuck? Like, what the fuck? But back to the immigration stuff. I think it's just the way that it's being done. They're taking people who are trying to do it. They're taking people who are seeking asylum here for specific reasons. They don't care, and they have a 3,000 a day quota, right? Which is also enlightening as to law enforcement quotas, right? They always argue that we don't have arrest quotas. They obviously do, and this 3,000 deport or arrest for ICE quota is telling, and not super indicative, but it's kind of shed some light on that quota issue. But I think they're just running around like trying to pick up whoever. The fact that they can come up to you and ask you for your papers because you look Latino or you look like you're not white is insane to me. Like, what are we going to start wearing our nationalities on our ethnicities on our chest like a badge? Like
It's a little bit easier if it was foreign. It's insane, Jim. It's insane. And my point is, I'm so kind of like caught in the middle of it because of who I hang out with, who I know. I'm like really in this middle that I hear these both sides and I get to the extremes, and then I start watching the news and the same thing. It depends on what channel you watch, and it's so much and overwhelming for me that this is the worst thing you could do. I've been staying out of it, dude.
Right, and it is.
I have no idea what's right, what's wrong.
It's super tiring, but that's what they want. Like, I mean,
yeah,
and
I mean that's the goal of the news. The news is trying to. I don't care what side you're going for. Your side of your news pushing your agenda is going to exhaust you or fucking traumatize you. One way
it is, and it is exhausting, and it's very, very easy. And I'm sure a lot of people are just like, I just don't want to. I want to put my blinders on and just worry about what's happening.
Well, not only that, dude. It's life's fucking hard. Survival's hard. Bills are fucking hard.
No, I get it.
Like I got overhead right now. Like, oh, this is happening. Fuck, that sucks, dude. But like, I'm gonna lose all my shit. You know, I give this example about.
I get it.
I give this example about money with different people at different levels. It doesn't matter what level you're at. Like, you can make $500 a month. You can make $5,000 a month. You can make $50,000 a month. You can make $500,000 a month. Okay.
Nice.
But the consequences are the same. If you don't get your money for the next 2-3 months, you're gonna get evicted. You're gonna lose a property. You're gonna lose a car. Your credit's gonna get fucked up. Like, everybody, even though it's like, well, your bills are only $500, mine are $500,000. The consequence is the same, dude. Yeah. The pressure's the same. The stress is the same. The losing sleep's the same. You know, yeah, I only have to make $500, but it's impossible for me to make $500. You know, versus the other thing. So that's what happens, and it's like I'm so overwhelmed by news, and then I hear, dude, I literally. Look, I have a phone for my leftist and my right. It's like, bro, it's like it's happening at the same time. Like, guys, like,
yeah,
no,
and I understand, and you know, I got off social media for like 2-3 months because it was just too much.
Right.
And
thank you.
But then I feel like, especially somebody who knows the law and knows the implications of what laws he's changing or how he's not listening to laws, I realize that like I need to speak up and I need to be loud about what's happening, because if I'm not that what I'm doing is going to change anything, but I want to feel good that I at least put effort into trying to steer society in the little corner that I have influence on, because what's happening and the way that we're immediately about face, the entire world hates us right now. You know, we fucked with Venezuela for some crude oil that nobody wants, and even Trump said, you know, at his last presidency, that it's the worst of the worst. Now it's the best of the best, and everybody who knows Venezuela oil sucks. It's the worst oil you can get. Now we're going to fuck with Iran, which terrible things are happening in Iran right now. Absolutely terrible. They've killed like over 1,000 people for protesting. To us threatening military advances on Greenland, and now Europe is literally stationing battle boats around Greenland, Germany, France. To NATO being destroyed because of what's happening, to him making a board of peace that has dictators on it. Like,
fucking wow.
What is and for you to be able to go down the street in an open carry state and be told only criminals carry guns. Like, this is not America. America needs to get back to its values. And sure, there's a lot of things that he said or that he's trying to do. I'm greatly appreciative that he bought, $20 billion worth of bonds to lower the interest rate on houses. It's great. I took advantage of that. That's a good policy, right? But the rhetoric behind his divisiveness is hateful. And this isn't a country that should be based on hate. We have too many people, too many different people here.
But again, I'm so caught up in the middle where it's like I see the hate on both sides. There's hate on both sides.
I don't know where you get off calling people animals and saying that they should be treated like animals.
Right. We can cherry pick the horrific things a person says and say, yeah, the president's
just a person. It's a person.
I get it. That there's that. But there is literally people that I've spoken to where it's like, oh, Trump's the president. I would rather see this country burn to the ground than to have another day with him. And they're burning it to the ground. Like, that doesn't make sense either. That to me is fucking wild.
No, and I don't agree with that. And that's not what we need, right? There's extremes on both sides. What we need is a middle ground. We need to get back to American values. We need to have, the one thing that stuck with me is somebody asked somebody, and I don't know where this is from. It just stuck with me. What's the greatest symbol of America? Is it the eagle? Is it the flag? What is it? And somebody said, it's a pendulum. It swings like this, and it swings back. It swings like this, and it swings back. And that's what we don't need. We don't need it to go extreme this way and then extreme back, right? We need it to be right here so that it accommodates a majority of people. Because we don't, I firmly believe, sure, if you are a criminal and you're convicted of a deportable crime, get out, right? There's ways to do that without instilling fear into a community. And then targeting blue states. There's literally 2.1 million illegal immigrants in Texas. Why aren't they in Texas?
Yeah, but isn't there Governor Abbott or something like on it?
Hot Wheels?
What's Hot Wheels?
He's
What is his nickname?
Yeah, it's a nickname. He's handicapped. He's in a wheelchair, and he just took out all the ADA stuff from billions, so he can't even get into his fucking office anymore.
I didn't know there was a maker. Like, I'm telling you, I get like little pieces and bits and stuff.
It's so hilarious, dude. He literally
Well, I mean, there's just a bunch of stuff because then you go into again. I just have bits and pieces. Like, you can't. This is my fucking disclaimer. But then it's like, when Biden was president, they were
Jamie, pull up, Jamie.
Yeah, I wish. I need to.
Yeah. He's gonna get deported, bro.
Yeah, no, that's why I used to have a.
That's why we call him Jamie, not Jaime.
Yeah,
just so he doesn't get deported.
But like when Biden was president, I don't know all the fucking details.
Fuck Biden.
Yeah,
fuck Biden.
And look, I didn't say that. No, but whatever. So what I'm saying is under that America, they were bringing immigrants from Texas and putting them in buses and giving them cell phones and debit cards and taking them to New York and putting them in hotels. When we have a homeless issue, man, we have. There's the whole thing. We have a homeless issue that's like documented 188,000 blah 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 homeless people in Los Angeles, but then there's the unknowns, they call them, or something like that, and it's people that work full-time jobs and live in their car because they can't afford to live in a house.
And here's how to fix that. Just don't put them on buses and give them debit cards and cell phones. Like if that's the crux of the argument, we were giving them.
Well, that's what was happening.
Don't give it.
Right, you stop that immediately.
But don't come out in army trucks and violate basic constitutional rights like a Fourth Amendment, Second Amendment. Like, show me your papers. Fuck you. Show me your papers. Show me your papers. Like, you're as Latino as I am.
I mean, that part's crazy too. You got fucking guys with guns covering their face up, not even identifying themselves.
And saying
that part's pretty fucking stupid too.
If you don't disappear your voice, I'm going to disappear your voice for you. Did you just threaten to kill me, sir? Like, what kind of bullshit is that?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't learn from that lady Renee Good, huh? Well, you better learn. Like,
really?
They're walking around talking shit like that. And it's all over. And it's insane. These guys are punks. These guys are punks. They're law enforcement rejects that can't get it up, and they're having problems. That's like quite literally. Maybe 5 of them are okay. That's how far I'm willing to say it. Like, these guys are just a bunch of fucking punks.
All ICE agents.
They're Have you seen Superman? What's his name?
Is there a difference between ICE agents and Border Patrol?
I mean, yes, technically there is, but no, there's not.
There's not.
There is. There's Border Patrol is protecting the border, and they enforce immigration. ICE is immigration customs enforcement.
Got it.
So
Border Patrol is like watching the drugs, immigration.
Border Patrol should stay near the fucking border.
Right.
They shouldn't be in Minnesota in cities. They need to be guarding that fence.
Are they?
Yeah, they're in Minnesota too, and they're like, oh. It was Border Patrol, it wasn't ICE. Who fucking cares? It's the same thing. Like, what are you getting off? Like, getting this it's insane. And the people that are swallowing it it's disturbing. It's disturbing.
No.
Sorry.
No. Okay. That's your pet. I mean, here's the thing: you're watching it, you're witnessing it, you're studying it, you're researching it, you're up to date with it. So and you're super passionate.
I mean, today I had a client that I just put out to a 25-400, which is carrying a concealed firearm in a vehicle. Okay. Kind of benign, not a huge issue. It's a deportable crime. And sure, that's fine, right? But he was literally crying to me. Oh my God, I do not want to get. I have a kid that's born here. I'm like, look, you're not going to get deported today, but I'm going to get deported tomorrow. But if you see an ICE agent, you fucking run, And the crime itself is a wobbler, so it could be charged as both a misdemeanor and a felony, right? And if it says a misdemeanor, it's not deportable. If it's a felony, it is deportable.
Well, here, quick. I'm going to make a point on a personal experience, and then I know somebody going through something that I would like to know what you would recommend. So in my experience, recently, like August last year, there was a case, a deal was taken, and they say, well, here's what's going to happen. This, misdemeanor, this. Do you agree? Yes, no, whatever the case is, blah, blah. Okay, everybody agrees. Here, the attorney, have your client sign the documents. They sign the documents, boom, boom, boom,
Yeah.
go outside, boom, 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 go back upstairs, go back into the courtroom, right? Everything documented, everything signed, everything good. Cool. Everything they said, done, ba, 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 ba. Oh, and then they added, by the way, if you're an illegal immigrant, you're going to be deported today. Today. Wow. I'm not going to say you're going to be deported.
Yeah. So
Sorry. You're going to be deported. And I was thinking when I saw that, because I was there witnessing this, I'm like, dude, that's insane. They never mentioned that when you're filling out the document. Because the opposed part to that was continue fighting, extending it out, etc.
I'll tell you when we're done.
So that was that. I want to get your input on that. And then I heard of somebody that whatever fucking cleans buildings, and now they've been here since 1987, and now they're looking at these things saying, hey, fly out, go back home.
And $2,000 stipend.
Yeah, we'll give you money. We'll pay for your flight. We'll do this, do that, and come the legal way. We're coming after you. What do you recommend to people like this?
Okay, so to talk about the plea issue, that statement, if you're an illegal immigrant, please note that this plea deal will make you ineligible for naturalization. You would be deported, blah blah blah. Right? That's always been in the forms. It's in the forms.
No, but this was like you're going to be deported.
Right. So they have to give you an advisement now, and I'll tell you why. Because there's a lot of situations that come up where, like, say you get some sort of diversion.
Right. Okay.
Say you get some sort of diversion. That diversion, the way that it's sold and the way that the court sells it to people is, hey. So diversion is basically you plead. The plea kind of freezes in time. The court doesn't actually receive the plea. They basically give up. I used to explain when I was a public defender, somebody's throwing a ball to you, right? And the ball is the plea. And I'm throwing it to the court. And it freezes between it before it gets to the court. So the court sees it, but it freezes it and it tells you, hey, if you do A, B, and C, and it's a lot of time, I'm going to miss that ball and I'm just going to dismiss everything. I will not take your plea. Okay.
Right.
So everything gets dismissed, like it didn't happen, right? that's not the way it works. It actually does show up as a diversion. So if you committed, for example, a 25-400 where it's a gun charge and you go get some sort of judicial diversion and you go through a gun safety course and do all that stuff and then they dismiss it, when somebody looks at your background, like an ICE agent, it'll still say that you were charged with the 2500 and you pled out for that version. So it's still on your record. It doesn't actually, it's not affected like a dismissal. So there was it's a 1472. There's a code. I can't think of it right now. But it basically says like, hey, I got this diversion thing and it's for immigration purposes, and I need it to be basically changed in the court system. So what they do is they reopen the case, they dismiss or they throw out the diversion, and they just say it's dismissed outright, just dismissed, right?
Right.
So because of that, they're really starting to hone in on these advisements. Today, there was 2 different advisements for my client about the deportability of this crime, right? The DA said it, and the judge said it. And it's because there's been such a it's been probably 25 years that the court's been doing what they're doing, and now they're realizing, hey, we fucked up, and they've been trying to like fix all these cases. Fucked. So that's why they're so hard on it because you have, given the climate, I think that they're pushing on it more because like, hey, we told you, right? Like, and I had a good talk with my client today. Like, look, this is a deportable crime. Like, you need to understand. But the other crimes that he was going to be charged with were also.
No, aren't all crimes portable now?
No.
Currently?
No.
No?
But a 647F, which is basically like a drunk in public, not deportable. I mean, these are all like little things, right? Like
Even now with the current situations?
I mean, now you don't even have to be a criminal to get deported. I mean, a 5-year-old is not a criminal, but they're deporting this kid. Like, you just have to be not white or have an accent to be at least captured. And they've deported like 7 to 8 citizens in the last like 3 months. Because it's crazy.
7 to 8 citizens. Got it.
Yeah, U.S. citizens have deported in the last 3 months.
Wow.
And that's just from people like, hey, I deported, like, back to Guadalajara, wherever they're from, What was the other question you were talking about?
So now there's somebody I know that is been here since record. Okay, just change the battery. So people that are in that circumstance, that they've been here in 1987, they got a wife, they got kids, they got the letter. They're I don't know if their immigration attorney said, hey, best bet is like to leave the country right now, and
so that's the issue, right? If I were to advise somebody you said they got a letter.
I think they got a letter, yeah.
Okay, that means they know where they are.
Right.
My advice would be to get an immigration attorney and see if you can somehow expedite any sort of paperwork or plan to start your road to citizenship. Because if you're not, if you, I mean, it is costly. But if you want to be here and if your life roots are here, as a lot of people's are, it behooves you to do that, right? So I would absolutely recommend, and there's a great attorney out of Woody, her name is Frances Enriquez. She does a lot of good immigration work. She's on Greenleaf, 8021 Greenleaf Avenue. For anybody that has immigration issues, I always refer them to her. And you want to at least get an understanding, because I don't know immigration. I can't tell you left, right, center, none.
Right.
You need to talk to somebody, at least pay for a consultation, to be like, hey, what are my paths here? What's the quickest way to citizenship? Am I going to get citizenship? And
but in those situations with people that have been here since like 1987, it's like, like they've tried or they filed or whatever.
I mean, I think that those situations, if there's nothing actually like really limiting them, vis-a-vis criminal activity, then there really is no block, right? If like you have to identify the hurdles and see if those hurdles are, if you can excel over them or jump over them, right? And an attorney is going to be able to tell you that. Somebody who practices immigration law, they've also deported, a lot of veterans who've been here for years and fought in wars that that they're deporting. It's like, if you can't be a citizenship or get your citizenship as a vet, like it's hard, right? So that's what I would recommend. You contact your attorney or any immigration attorney, or even any attorney that you know, because they're going to know an immigration attorney. It's hard, like you Google immigration attorney and the one who pays for the most Google spots comes up, right? So if you know an attorney, contact them and ask for a referral and go that route. And it's worth the $500 consultation fee to see if what your path would be.
Cool. And then I guess to finish off, recommendations for motorcyclists, riding, tips, anything, gun control, fun fact, whatever you want.
It's pretty hard to carry a gun in a bike that's legal. So you have to put the gun in the front pouch and maybe the ammo in the back. I will say, know your hand signs. This means cop.
Right.
Right. Don't ever.
But if you have two saddlebags, you can put your ammunition in one bag and put the
For sure. As long as they're.
Not that I did that when I went to the gun range, on Saturday.
Yeah, I went camping one time and I took my shotgun with me.
Yeah.
On my motorcycle. And fucking.
Yeah.
I felt like the Terminator.
We can't carry shotguns on our bikes.
I did.
No, I'm talking about mortals, but can a citizen carry their shotgun? Let's say it's locked. Let's say there's a trigger lock, and it's accessible. You can lock it onto the bike. It's gotta be hidden.
No, you can lock it on. I mean, if it's in a case, you can lock it on the bike.
But what if it's exposed? You can't have it exposed.
No, you can't have it exposed. That's open carry. You can't have it exposed. You have to have it in a case.
Well, let's talk about open carry and we'll wrap it up there. California, what's going on? Open carry.
So you know what? I saw that law and I'm not so confident that I'm going to start open carrying.
I mean, it's just open carry, you're a target. You don't want to ever open carry.
No, I'm just gonna. The feds struck that down. That it's a violation of the Second Amendment, which I agree with. I think that if we have a right to open carry across the country, states cannot limit your constitutional rights. With that being said, I'm gonna wait for somebody else to get in trouble before I start doing that.
What do you mean by that?
I deal with a lot of cases, so it's bound to come up that I'm going to get a case where somebody said, "Well, I was open carrying, given the new law, and see how that plays out." I'm not going to test it myself.
But has it come into effect fully or not?
Yeah, as soon as he makes the ruling, that shit's gone. So the ruling happened in the beginning of the year.
Because my understanding was, this was a conversation that I had with Oswaldo, that it was the Sixth Circuit of the United States, was bringing it, but now the state of California is going to, try to appeal it, and they're going to, delay it.
I mean, they can't appeal, but the decision's been made, right? So sure, and that's why it's iffy, because if they appeal it, which I guarantee you they are, that's in litigation, and if it gets overturned again, we can do that, then you don't want to be caught with your gun in your hand.
And then would it supposedly take effect into the whole state of California, or is it going to be based on cities, the population of Los Angeles?
So sure, cities can, you think about old cowboy movies, right? Cities can be like, no firearms kind of thing, right?
You can call you motherfucker.
Yeah. So cities can definitely mandate, like,
you get like a Mexican woman accent. No firearms. No firearms. Not around here. Sorry, that was more Chinese or Japanese.
I think cities can definitely limit your ability to carry open carry in and around cities. All of that kind of goes against what the ruling is, right? Businesses can. I'm sure you can be on a sidewalk with it in LA, but as soon as you go into a business, get out.
Yeah.
We just have to see how it plays out. I don't know. It's a very sensitive thing, and given the amount of penalty associated with violating a California gun law, I don't want to be the one to test it out. Because like the 25-400, like I said today, is a concealed carry firearm in a vehicle. So if you had a gun and a pistol, and pistols are what they're concerned about. They're not really. I'm sure they are concerned about assault weapons, but a shotgun is so big. You can't sneak into a movie theater and unload 30 rounds on a movie theater like in Aurora, right? So the pistols are what they're concerned about, and I would just wait until all those pins drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see. I guess we'll find out very soon. Any other things you want to talk about or mention?
No, man. How's just riding the bike? How's the bike doing?
Amazing. Like I told you, I had that whole case street light down.
So did you get it back?
No, they paid it off.
So you don't have a bike anymore?
No, I ride every day. I have a bike. We'll leave it at that for the podcast. We'll cut it out.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that.
Cool.
Oh no,